Okay, so in today's class, let us see the hydrostatic forces on curved surfaces. Already we have seen what are the hydrostatic forces on inclined surface. So see, listen, this is your inclined surface. So if you have an inclined surface, we know the hydrostatic force will be act normal to the inclined surface, and this hydrostatic force, the total force F, acts at a distance of h star, that is called center of pressure, h star, from the free surface of water. Now, if the surface is a horizontal surface, this force, the total force, acts again on this face of the inclined surface, inclined. So to this face, the force acts like this. Okay, inclined to the one face of this horizontal surface, on the vertical face of this horizontal surface. So again, your distance of center of pressure will be equal to h star. Now, see, for this case, our h bar, that is distance of center of gravity of this vertical surface, will be h bar, and this h star will lie below h bar. And in this case, for the horizontal surface, h star will be equal to h bar. Now, for the inclined surface, when the surface is inclined, the force will act normal to the inclined surface. And this distance where this point of application of this force acts will be equal to h star. So this is the free surface and this is the inclined surface. So here you can, since this force is inclined, you can resolve it into horizontally and vertically. But total force is F, and this total force will be equal to, rho G A H bar. Rho G A H bar. So everywhere the total force will be equal to rho G A H bar. For the inclined surface also, the total force will be equal to rho G A H bar. For the horizontal surface, total force is equal to rho G A H bar. For the inclined surface also, the total force will be equal to rho G A H bar. See, all these things we have studied in our previous classes in detail. We have seen the theory, we have seen about the problems also. Now, in today's class, we are going to see what about the horizontal forces on a curved surface, when the surface is curved. Okay, so curved surface submerged in liquid. Now, you can see the diagram. So, this is our free water surface. And AB is the curved surface. AB is the curved plane. AB is the curved surface. So now in this curved surface AB, we are considering a smaller area dA. So the pressure intensity on this smaller area will be equal to P, that is rho GH. Rho GH. Now, the total pressure force on this smaller area is dF, and that will act normal to this area. Okay, if you take this, see this smaller area is on the inclined surface. Sorry, not on the inclined surface, on the curved surface. And in this curved surface, we are taking a smaller area and the force will act perpendicular to this area, to the direction of this area. So, this dF is equal to pressure into area. So, pressure force is nothing but our stress. Stress is equal to force by area. So, pressure is nothing similar to stress. So, stress is equal to force by area, That means our force is equal to stress into area. That is pressure into area. Pressure is similar to stress. Okay. Pressure, we call it as pressure for liquid. We will call it as the same term is called as stress for solid body. So the force is equal to pressure into area. So pressure intensity for this smaller area is rho GH and the area is dA. Now the total pressure force on the curved surface. See, this dF is the pressure force on this smaller area. Now the total pressure force on the curved surface AB, on the whole curved surface AB is F, and that is equal to, you can determine it by integrating this dF over the curved surface from A to B. So this is integration of rho g h into dA, and the integration is from A to B. Okay, integration is from A to B. Now it is not possible to do the integration from A to B because AB is a curved surface. See, if it is a vertical surface or horizontal surface, you can directly do the integration. Now, since it is a curved surface, the direction varies from point to point, so that you cannot take the integration directly. Okay, so that is what is written here. See, the direction of forces on the smaller areas are not in the same direction, but varies from point to point. Listen, if you take, this is your smaller area, but if you take another area at this point, the direction is varying. See, here the direction is like this. Here if you draw the tangent, the direction is like this. Okay. Again, if you are taking the smaller area at this point, see again the direction is changing. So, the direction of forces on the smaller areas, on all the smaller areas are not in the same direction but varies from point to point. And since it varies from point to point, integration is not possible over the curved surface. Therefore, we can resolve the forces dF into two components, that is dFx in x direction and dFy in y direction respectively. That means after resolving, our total force on the curved surface becomes F is equal to, that is total force is equal to square root of Fx square plus Fy square. Now you can see once you have resolved this dF into two components, dFx and dFy. Now you take a smaller area here. See, your force will act normal. Your force will act normal. That means your force will act normal. You can resolve it into two components, a horizontal component and a vertical component. This horizontal component and the direction of this horizontal component is the same. The direction of this vertical component and this vertical component is the same. The direction remains the same. If you take a smaller area here, see this will be your resultant force. You can resolve it into vertically and horizontally. So the direction remains the same. You take another smaller area here. See, you can resolve it horizontally and vertically. The directions remains the same. So that means now you can resolve every smaller areas into horizontal and vertical components and you can take the integration. So the total force becomes square root of Fx square plus Fy square. That is, Fx is the force of the horizontal component of all the smaller areas and Fy is the total force of the vertical components of all the smaller areas. Now the inclination of the resultant will be equal to tan pi is equal to Fy by Fx, and pi, so this is the resultant with the horizontal, that is pi. Okay, so you can see here, see the resultant with the horizontal is taken as pi. So that pi will be equal to Fy tan inverse of Fy by Fx. Now, see, this is the general thing. Now, what is the forces? What is the forces on the horizontal components and vertical components? Okay, now you can see from the diagram, you see this horizontal component dfx. That is, see this area dA, the direction is like this, and this area makes an angle of theta with the horizontal. So if this area makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, that means here dfy makes an angle of theta with this inclined surface. This df makes an angle of theta with the vertical, right? Because if this is theta, if this is theta, then this becomes 90 minus theta. So that means, see, this is theta and this becomes 90 minus theta. Now when you take this, see, this becomes theta and this becomes 90 minus theta. Because, okay, now let us see the individual components dfx and dfy. So when we consider the individual components, see, this is our curved surface AB, and when we are considering this smaller area dA, this dA, the direction of this dA makes an angle of theta with the horizontal. So if this makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, we know the force acting on this smaller area dA is dF, and this force is resolved into dFy and dFx in the x direction and y direction. Now, see, this is theta, right? This is theta. This is theta. That means our force is acting, dF is acting normal to the surface. Our force acts normal to this. So this is our dF. So if this is theta, this is 90 minus theta. But see, this is 90 degree. These are normal. That means this angle is theta. That is, this dF makes an angle of theta with the vertical. This force makes an angle of theta with the vertical. That is why it is given here as theta. This dF makes an angle of theta with the vertical. Now, so what is dfx? dfx will be equal to, this is the horizontal component, right? So dfx will be equal to, so if this is theta, this becomes 90 minus theta. So dfx is equal to df cos 90 minus theta. So we get it as df sin theta. df sin theta, because it is df cos 90 minus theta. Always when we resolve, we will take with respect to the horizontal axis. We will take the angle with respect to the horizontal axis. So it is df cos 90 minus theta, it is df sin theta. So we get rho gh dA sin theta. This dA sin theta. Okay, so rho gh dA sin theta. So how you can represent dA sin theta as, see, if this is dA, and this dA makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, So this horizontal component becomes dA cos theta and the vertical component becomes dA sin theta. So what is dA sin theta? It is nothing but the vertical plane. Now dA sin theta means this is our vertical plane. So fx is equal to integration of dfx. We get rho g into integration of h into dA sin theta. So rho g is constant. Now integration of h, we get h bar, which we have discussed in the earlier classes. H is the distance of center of gravity of the smaller area from the free surface of water. When we integrate, we get the center of gravity for the whole curved surface. So that is h bar, distance of center of gravity of the curved surface from the free surface of water. And when you are integrating dA sin theta, you get the area, because it is the vertical plane, right? When it is a vertical plane, theta will be equal to 90 degree. If theta is equal to 90 degree, sin theta will be equal to 1. Our dA becomes area. So this is the total pressure force on the projected area of the curved surface on vertical plane. That means our Fx is the total pressure force on the projected area of the curved surface on the vertical plane. So when you have a curved surface on the vertical plane, the force acting is Fx. So and this Fx will be equal to rho g a h bar. Now similarly, our dfy will be equal to df cos theta, because this is df sin 90 minus theta. So it is df cos theta. We get rho gh into dA cos theta. Okay, so what is dA cos theta? It is the horizontal surface. dA cos theta is the horizontal surface of dA. So this is nothing but the weight. So rho g is constant, integration of h into dA cos theta. Now, so this is nothing but the weight of the liquid supported on the curved surface up to free surface of the liquid. So when you are taking the horizontal surface, when you are considering the horizontal surface or horizontal plane of this curved surface, the force will be equal to the weight of the liquid above the horizontal plane of the curved surface up to the free surface of the liquid, and that will be equal to rho g into, we know it is rho g a into h bar, right? Here when we are taking the horizontal surface, it is rho g into this a h bar will be equal to the volume. So it is volume of water displaced by the curved surface. So that's all. So you have to remember what is a curved surface. And in general, we take rho g h into dA. Because it is a curved surface, you cannot integrate it directly. So we are resolving it into horizontal and vertical components. Then our vertical component, that is force on the vertical plane, will be equal to rho g a h bar, and force on the horizontal plane will be equal to rho g into the volume of water displaced by the curved surface. Now, okay, we will move on to a problem now. So our problem is compute the horizontal and vertical components of the total force acting on a curved surface AB, which is in the form of a quadrant of a circle of radius 2 meter as shown in the figure. Okay, so this is AB, this is a curved surface. It is a quadrant 2 meter. It is in the form of a quadrant of a circle of radius 2 meter. Take the width of the gate as unity. So width is given as 1. Okay, now this this is the free surface of the water, and it is given as this curved surface is from a distance of 1.5 meter from the free surface of water. And it is given this AB is a quadrant of a circle of radius 2 meter. That means, see, you can extend this, and you can extend this point from B. So take this as O. So that means our OA is equal to OB is equal to 2 meter. Now our radius is given as 2 meter. That means this distance is 2 meter. This distance is 2 meter. Okay, so this is 2 meter. This is 2 meter. Now we know what is Fx, that is total pressure force on the projected area of the curved surface AB on the vertical plane. So Fx, your Fx will act like this, right? Somewhere here. So this will be your Fx. And this Fx we know, Fx is nothing but the total pressure force on the curved surface AB on the vertical plane. We are resolving it into horizontal and vertical plane. So Fx is the total pressure force on the vertical plane. And we know Fx is equal to rho GAH bar. So rho is constant, it is 1000. We know area. See, area, it is 2 into 1 because the radius is given as 2. So this vertical, on this vertical surface, this distance is 2 and the width is given as 1 meter. So the area is, so before that, G is 9.81. The area is 2 into 1. See, not area on the curved surface, area on the vertical plane. So this area is, this distance is 2, the width is 1. So it is 2 into 1 multiplied by, what is h bar? H bar is the distance of center of gravity from the free surface. So this is 1.5. So 1.5 plus, this is 1.5 plus this vertical surface plane, it is 2. So 2 divided by 2. So we get Fx is equal to 49050 Newton. That is equal to 49 kilonewton. Now, what is the point of application? We know the formula H star is equal to, for the vertical plane, it is Ig by AH bar plus H bar. Now we know this moment of inertia for the vertical plane, okay? Ig means moment of inertia. Now we are considering the vertical plane. So Ig, for the vertical plane, it is BD cube by 12 divided by the area. Area is 2 into 1 into H bar. H bar is 1.5. See, this is H bar. 1.5 plus 1, that is 2.5. Plus 2.5. So we know our B width is equal to 1. D is 2, 2 cube divided by 12 into 2 into 2.5 plus 2.5. We get our H star is equal to 2.633 meter from free surface. That is our H star. This is 2.633 meter. This is our H star. Okay. Now we will find the vertical force. So horizontal force is over. Now we will determine the vertical force, that is Fy. So we know Fy is equal to the weight of water supported by the curved surface. So weight of water, the formula is rho g into the volume of water. So volume of the portion, see this portion. Volume of, we will expand this. So we will take this as D and this as C. So it is volume of DABOC. DABOC. See, this is the portion of water. This is the portion of water above the curved surface. So it is DABOC. Okay, so it is 1000 into 9.81 into what is volume of DABOC? It is nothing but volume of this DCOA plus volume of AOB. So this volume is equal to, this is here, the area into H. See, volume is area into thickness. So area of this portion DC, first of all we will consider this portion, that is DCOA. So for this portion the area is 2 into 1.5 multiplied by the thickness is 1. Okay. So for the first portion, that is volume of DAOC plus volume of AOB. So this is equal to 1000 into 9.81 into volume of DAOC is, the area is 2 into 1.5 and the thickness is 1 plus, now volume of AOB. See, volume of AOB is, it is a curved, this, right, this portion, this is a quarter of a circle. So quarter of a circle means we know the formula for the area of circle is pi r square. So pi r square by, this is a quarter of a circle divided by 4. So it is pi r square. Here the radius is 2. So 2 square, it is a quadrant of a circle. So divide by 4. Multiplied by thickness is 1. So we get the vertical force Fy will be equal to 60249.1 Newton, that is equal to 60.249 kilonewton. So our answer is Fx is equal to 490.50 Newton it acts at a distance of H star, that is 2.633 meter from the free surface. From the free surface of water, and Fy will be equal to 60249.1 Newton. So this also acts at the same. Okay. So our total force, see total force on this curved surface. On this curved surface, the total force will be acting like this, F. So here in this problem, it is asked to find only the components. So if you are asked to find the total force, F will be equal to square root of Fx square plus Fy square. And where this will be acting, our pi will be equal to tan inverse of Fy by Fx. So you can find these things also for the completion of your program. So that's all for today. Thank you.